Hi, everybody. Recruiting Animal here on February 21st. Is that right? Is it the
That's right.
21st? The year is 2024 still. Am I
Hmm.
right about that too?
As far as I know.
And we've got the great Donna Terrell here. Donna Terrell,
Hello. The great. I
corporate,
like that. Thank you.
corporate recruiter. Okay.
Hmm.
I didn't, I was singing it before, but Oh Donna, I think is going to be
Hmm.
her theme song from now on the show.
Yeah.
I
Yes.
had a girl, Donna was her name. Okay.
There you
Uh,
go.
the other theme songs for the other guys, just so everyone knows, for Tom, he's got Palermo Roads as his company name, and Palermo was the capital of Sicily. So I thought the Godfather theme would be good for him.
But
Da,
Ernie
da, da,
seems,
da, da,
but
da,
Ernie
da.
though seems more like the Godfather. Is
Who?
my
Ernie.
Ernie. He
Okay, then
doesn't.
you're
Yeah.
holding the purple space for Ernie. Ernie's migrated over to Tom's show. He's on every Friday on their show
Okay. All
now.
right. Well, if he's not coming, then Tom can have it. But if Ernie ever comes back,
You're right. Everybody thought Ernie was like the Godfather. Okay,
he has that appeal.
have you ever watched Andy Elliott on YouTube? He's a sales
No.
trainer.
No, I have not.
He says you're going to earn a lot more money as a recruiter if you make sure that you're in good physical condition. Would you agree with that?
I think it helps with everything in life. I'd like
Okay.
to find out
He
someday.
says, I'm pretty sure he said, I was at the dentist yesterday for
Mhm.
quite a long procedure, and I was listening to an interview with him, a long one. I'm pretty sure he said he won't hire anybody unless they've got a six pack.
That's stupid.
I think so too.
Yeah, that's dumb. I mean, that's not even consistent with what you said in the beginning, having a six pack versus just being. And I'll give you an example because the last time I had my blood work done when I worked on site somewhere, and there were a lot of skinny people there, and my weight came in a little over. And I was not real happy about that. And the guy told me, he said, "You should be the happiest one. You've had the best results." He's like, "Everything we ran, your optimal level, optimal level, optimal." He's like, all those skinny people, well, not all of them, but there were plenty that were in poor
Eating it and
health.
six
So how
pack
do
are
you know?
different.
That's what I'm saying. You can be healthy and, not
No, no.
chiseled.
Okay, let's move on.
Move on.
Let's move on.
I might
Okay.
be a little bitter
Well,
about
when
that.
Tom comes, I'll ask him if he's got a six pack, and if he doesn't, he's pretty
Okay.
athletic. Rich is very
Rugby,
muscular.
right?
He's built.
Really?
Take a look at his shoulders in those t-shirts next time he comes on. Okay.
Okay. Apparently you have.
You
have
can't.
not known
What's
it.
his name used to admire them. Ewan.
Who? Well, he's very focused on that. I could see that.
But he lifts. He lifts as well.
Yeah.
Okay. Here.
Yeah.
Here. Watch me. I'm gonna do it. Da, 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 da.
I can't hear it though. You covered it up.
There he is. Palermo Roads.
You had a
Palermo.
theme song. You missed
That's
it.
your theme song, Godfather. Now, Palermo's the capital of Sicily. Okay.
Correct.
Okay. Do you have a six pack?
Me?
Yeah.
No.
Have you ever watched Andy Elliott on YouTube, sales trainer? He says he won't hire anybody who doesn't have a six pack. He says because if you care about yourself, you're going to be in top physical condition, and that's going to make you triple your sales results. Do you believe that? Donna doesn't.
I don't believe it. No, because I've met amazing sales reps that fat, skinny, tall, ugly, good looking, six pack, big beer bellies like me. I don't think anything doing anything.
Okay. There we
Yeah,
go.
I mean, okay, look, again, I could see maybe you're like people and it's all relative, but maybe I want people who are more sports oriented or more health conscious for my team. That's one thing. But six packs, dude, I've worked out incessantly, like I was benching 300 pounds. I did not have a six pack.
You got to reduce your body fat to have.
I couldn't. There's nothing I could do. I did out. It would have been basically starving myself to death.
That's what I thought too, because not everybody's built that way. Okay,
I had not 8% body fat. Right, I looked great, but I could not get a six pack. My body
really? You were down to 8% body fat?
Dude, I was in amazing shape when I lived in Florida. I met a guy who wanted to work out. I got super into it. I had this dream of benching 200 pounds. and I did that really quick. I got up to 305 pounds benching. I was in amazing shape, and I blew my knee out. But it was like I tried so fucking hard to get that 6-pack. I couldn't. I couldn't.
Okay.
I like
You hear that,
tacos too much.
everybody? Tom says you can be a slob. You can be a couch potato. I mean, he did say that. And,
Yeah, I
and
mean,
still be
I've met sales guys who
a
were
fantastic sales representative.
Yeah,
And Warren
this
Buffett,
job allows for that.
the richest man, he must have been a good salesperson, or maybe not. I don't know, but a good communicator. And I don't think he even came close to having a 6-pack. Am I right about that? And Bill Gates, he's a mess. Okay.
I just, there are amazing sales guys out there that have 6-packs, and amazing sales guys and gals who don't. I mean, I don't
Okay,
even.
so you guys look up Andy Elliott 6-pack, okay? Okay. But by the way, though, I've been watching this running trainer, Sherry Hawkins. She doesn't have a 6-pack, but she's inspiring. She's in such good shape. She's a very good trainer as well. Okay, but there's another coach. I was looking through some coaches, and this guy said, if you're not practicing AI, artificial intelligence tools every day, you're on the way to becoming a dinosaur. Okay, does anyone agree with that? I'm afraid it might be right. Anybody?
So
that's a no. You're hesitating so much. And Donna didn't even, she pretended she didn't hear it, okay?
No, I heard you. I was waiting, but I would just say that you almost automatically do anyway, because it's embedded in so many things that we work with. But I'm serious. I mean, so like when you're doing searches, or if you're I don't know, whatever is it called,
okay, you're
Copilot
not
or whatever.
That GPT to every day to figure out the good prompts and how it can help you in your work. We are dinosaurs, us these three. Okay, I haven't spent any time on it.
I have.
I use AI.
I've done the prompts. I've done the Midjourney. I've done the visuals. I've done a lot of the stuff. I get the newsletter from the Superhuman Con guy. I watch and see what it is, but most of it's pretty intuitive. I don't know. I don't think it's like, oh, I need to practice some more today.
Okay, so nobody here is saying yet that I have to be a master of AI in order to succeed in my current job. Nobody here is saying that. Am I right?
I'm not saying that.
Okay. Tom, I guess, isn't saying it either. Okay. Although I can tell.
No, I mean, I'm not a master of anything.
Baloney. Okay.
A master?
Yeah, you're a master communicator and salesperson. I've talked to you enough times that I believe it. Okay.
I appreciate that. I just,
Okay, Donna, these guys, Rich and Tom, they're too modest. Okay, Rich always likes to say, "Oh, I don't make good presentations."
I can always learn something.
Yeah. Okay. How do you want to feel? These are sort of dumb questions. I can cut them out if I have to, but I like them. How do you want to feel when you sit down to work in the morning? I'll tell you how I want to feel. I want to feel relaxed and like it's fun, and that there's no boss breathing over my shoulder, counting my calls. But I tend to worry a lot that I'm letting down a client if I'm having trouble finding a very specialized candidate. Okay, so I'm a worrier, and I don't like that. Anybody else want to say what they want to feel? Is that just general what I said? Relaxed and fun? Is that how
maybe not relaxed. I like to feel energized and excited, but fun, yes. But I do get nervous. I had a search that I've had to start doing, a couple of them that are highly specific, which I haven't had to do here yet internally. Mm-hmm. And you do get the nerves and the jitters, and because these are hard, but then it's kind of fun once you get started. But I like that energy, and I feel like you need that. I get bored. I don't want to be.
I like to be amped up. I like to be excited about what I'm doing. I like to be amped up and be relaxation's fine, but I don't know how to relax. So yeah, I want to be amped up.
Okay. And what about, we got theme songs for everybody now, Rich.
What's Rich's?
If I was a rich man.
But I can't say, you got to stand up, Rich, because I've been told to look at your shoulders and your arms.
Yeah, stand up.
Why am I looking at my shoulders and my arms?
You're a muscle man. Okay. Look at him.
Yeah, that's what Animal was saying, and I was like, well, personally, I hadn't noticed, but apparently he has.
Andy Elliott, have you watched Andy Elliott, Rich?
No.
He's a trainer. He said he won't hire you if you don't have a 6-pack. He said,
and the more I've been Googling him as we're talking, he's a fucking scam artist, man. The last dealership he works for got raided by the FBI.
Oh, but he's got a good I'll send you. He's got a good interview. He's got a good explanation of what
They
happened.
always do. They always do.
They always do.
Who was the other guy? There's that other scammy sales guy. He's always selling his
Grant Cardone.
There you go.
That motherfucker. Jesus Christ.
Well,
Yeah.
actually, Andy Elliott said Grant Cardone, he was a fan of Grant Cardone. Grant Cardone did a sales training video for automotive sales back in 2013 or something, and he hadn't updated it. So Andy Elliott said, I'm going to become number one in automotive sales. And he is. He's number one trainer, sales trainer. Yeah. Okay. Okay. So do you believe, though, Rich, that you have to, if you are in good physical condition, like Andy Elliott, if you're in a training with him, he'll say, hey, you, take your shirt off, okay? And show what a mess you are, okay?
That won't get you in trouble at all.
It doesn't get him in trouble. People go there, right? They're paying for it. But his point is, if you take care of yourself, you're going to be triple your sales. Do you believe that, Rich?
I don't know about triple your sales, but I think they've done these studies where like CEOs and execs that work out in the morning start to be working out are more productive, more
Okay,
successful.
so you disagree with Tom. He says a fat guy, skinny guy, couch potato, they could be fantastic salespeople.
They can be. No, I'm saying, listen, I think more fit guys are more successful, but I just think because they have a work ethic and a drive.
I personally don't believe that more fit people are more successful. I think it's great to be fit, but I don't think that improves their sales
No,
necessarily.
it doesn't. It
Okay.
doesn't improve,
He makes a good point.
It doesn't improve your sales. It doesn't improve your sales.
Yeah.
But it's just the point is, it doesn't make you a better or worse salesperson. But I think if you saw like 10 people lined up and 5 of them are, obese and 5 of them are in great shape, or not even in great shape, like they're just in decent shape, like you can tell they work out somewhat. I bet you those people that work out, if they're committed to being a good salesperson, would be the better person because they have the process down. They have a routine.
I mean,
Okay.
they have discipline. I mean, it takes discipline to get like that. So I'll agree with what Rich is saying.
I don't think that discipline is transferable. Okay. I think
it's called routine. Like I get up, listen, I'm not in fantastic shape. I don't have a 6-pack even close to it. But I have a routine. And just like work, I have a routine. Just like working out, I have a routine. I know what I'm going to do. And those who don't.
Yeah, I mean, Rich's routine in his professional life, and I don't know about your personal life, you could see why Rich is so successful because he sticks to a fucking process and routine every day in and day out. He does not stray from it. He knows when you need to be on the phone. He knows when you're not need to be planning, and that's why he's successful.
Yeah,
He is
I'm going to
disciplined.
disagree with this whole thing about you can like working out and still be a lousy salesperson. Those skills are not transferable. I mean,
you're missing the point.
Rich is good. Rich is a good
He's missing the
salesperson
point.
because of his personality. Tom is a good salesperson because of his personality. Donna, I thought she was a good communicator because she was a teacher, but now when I gave it a bit of thought, she's a good communicator because of who she is, not because I talked before about Mr. Daniel, my math teacher. I would rather blow my brains out than have his class at the end of the day. Okay. And he'd been a teacher for 30 years or so by the time I was there. Okay. So that didn't make him a good communicator. I believe
you're confusing the two things. I agree with you. You don't need to be a workout guy to be a good salesperson. Not at all. But I was going to say, if you had to choose one or the other, if you're both equally committed, the guy that's got the discipline and the routine.
We got the scientist here with everything else being equal. Okay, the guy who's fit is going to.
All right, but then it's just a dumb comparison in general. Saying you're fit and makes you a good salesperson.
Well,
is dumb in general.
I knew a guy, and he would follow whoever he interviewed out to their car because he wasn't about fitness. He was a little bit pudgy himself, but he was about, do you keep a clean car, or do you let your car become a mess? And if somebody had a messy car, they did not get hired.
Don't salespeople all have messy cars? They live in them.
Dude, my car is a complete shithole.
He would not hire you.
Great. Yes, Rich.
I got 2 cars and they're both a mess that I drive. So
Okay. Here's a question for me. I might get to. I have a landline. I had problems with it the last couple of days.
Which is the last one with the landline.
Yeah. Well, I was asking. So I was thinking of going going to a mobile, but I have a lot of trouble hearing people sometimes when they call me on their mobile. So I don't want to be like that.
Just
So
get a voice over IP line.
is it that?
That's what I'm on.
Yeah,
I've
I know that's what you're on. You also use a speakerphone, which I can't believe. I've been shocked for 5 years by the fact.
You gotta use it. This little speakerphone is the best. This Jabra, it's like the size of a hockey puck. You can't see it. Good. That's it.
I don't like mine. I have one, and I don't know. It's not that clear. I like a. I
What do
like
you have,
something
VoIP?
crisper.
VoIP, is that what you have, Donna? Is that, I don't know what you
No,
did.
no. But his Jabra speaker.
Oh.
I have a Jabra speaker, but I don't use it.
This one's the best, man. I got this a few years ago. It's fantastic.
How much?
Oh, not much.
They're
Like,
cheap.
yeah, like $100
And
maybe.
you're not talking on that now. You're talking on your Yeti, right?
Yeah, I'm talking on my speakerphone, my Jabra.
Oh, you dial in for this because I'm using the Yeti for this.
No,
big computer.
I just did the regular Google Meet, but it's using my speakerphone.
You know
Yeah,
what?
I can switch.
I would like this diversity staffing group. I would like to, if he or she doesn't want to show themselves, to take that square out. They can still participate, but why have? Well, actually, you know what? That won't show up on Google Meet. It only shows your picture if you're talking. So don't worry about it, diversity staffing. I don't want to make you uncomfortable. You're the first time here. But I will ask you, just consider this, if you have a six-pack or not. We've gone around here. And,
No, I don't. I wish.
okay. Nobody else does either, even super rich. Okay.
Okay.
And he's got big shoulders and biceps, okay? But that's not the
I was
sign.
telling Rich, I was telling them I worked out like a fiend for years and couldn't get a six-pack, no matter how hard I tried.
No, I got close a few years ago, and then it's gotten old.
And you discover tacos.
Yeah,
Okay,
pretty much.
actually, I wanted to catch up on a story with Tommy. Tommy had some problems, and he had when you have a life crisis, it makes you, do different things and make a strategic change. And so he was a firm believer in cold calls. And he switched to emails and automated.
No,
automated.
I didn't switch. I added it to my repertoire.
Okay, but you told us that you sent out 60 of them, and I can read it exactly what you did. 60 automated with automated. I can't remember what kind, through LinkedIn messaging.
Yeah.
Oh, we lost the diversity already.
I did a LinkedIn connection request.
I
and then an
scared her
email.
away. Sorry, diversity. I shouldn't. I knew I shouldn't have asked that question. Okay, okay, Tommy. You sent out 60 using Kanban or something like that, Canbox. You sent out 60 automated connection requests through LinkedIn. Then you immediately followed up with emails,
In
right?
2 hours. 2 hours.
Yeah, 2 hours. You got 3 candidates from that. One of them was so good that the client wanted to hire him without from just the resume alone, right?
Yep.
Now,
He responded on the 6th and he signed the offer on the 10th.
okay, you said you had 2 more searches. I wanted you to report back. You didn't have results yet. What happened with the other 2?
I haven't done them yet. I got a bunch of other stuff going on. I'm going to do it. I just haven't got to it. One of the issues was that the financial job got put on hold. So I'm doing, I got 2 new jobs today. I'm going to do it. It's just, me, my ADHD. I needed to do other stuff.
Okay. Here's a question. How common is bad management? Okay. This recruiter says, I went internal for a while. It was an agency recruiter. She went internal, and her boss had her check out multiple companies for an applicant tracking system. After 4 months, that person who put her on the project told her it wasn't important. They can do it later, right? He was also asking her to check out tools like LinkedIn Recruiter, and he knew for months in advance that the deadline on price increases was coming, but he decided to agree to it the day after the price increase came, and then he couldn't understand why they wouldn't give him the original price. This is like an idiot she's working for. How common is that? I mean, we keep hearing that people hate their managers. That's why they leave companies. And this is actually in a recruiting department in a corporation. Donna, don't tell us about your boss.
No, mine is wonderful.
Mm-hmm.
She's wonderful. I only have one. We're a department of 2, and she's great.
Okay.
So I wouldn't stay if she wasn't. I wouldn't.
What
stay.
about these other how common is bad management? Anybody want to? It looks like everybody's busy with other stuff right now. Anybody want to comment?
Bad management in terms of our hiring managers or in terms of internal
Yeah,
recruitment?
I gave you an example of this manager. You research this for me, and then when she does all the work, he says, "I'll forget about it for now." Okay.
They're
Or
horrible. I mean, I think for the most part, the ones that are good are amazing, but most of them, dude, most of these managers, either whether it's a TA manager or a hiring manager, they just kick shit down the road. They don't give you. They literally try every way to block you without trying to block you. Especially right now, this year, I find most of these TAs, these TA managers, they're like the old-fashioned HR people. Just want to tell you yes. They don't really want to partner. The ones that actually want to partner are amazing to work with.
so hold on. Are you talking about how these talent acquisition managers work with you, or how they work with their own internal team? Because that's what
I
I'm
have no
talking.
idea. I don't really care. They work with their own internal team. I don't work for them internally. How would we know?
Well, what about the VP of sales, the sales managers that you deal with? Are most of them idiots too?
The VPs of sales right now, absolutely. There's so many of them. I mean, that's the big problem in tech right now is that leadership is super weak. There's no one's transparent. Everyone is just trying to save their own job right now.
But why would that make them bad managers if they're trying to save their job? Wouldn't it make them better managers, or are they afraid to take necessary
because
risks?
Not
Well-
taking any risks. They're not, they they don't trust their team. They want to do it either all themselves or they're just bringing in, from a hiring perspective, they just want to bring in friends. And if you ever follow the stats about hiring your friends, at least in the startup world, like 80% of the time it blows up in both of your faces. One or both of you are gone within 6 months, 6 to 8 months. So no, they're not good managers. If you're going to be a manager, like it was just someone just posted this the other day. It was these great Jamie Dimon quotes. That was the big banking VP. He he was like, if you're going to be in business, be in business. Basically meaning take a risk. If you're not going to take risks, you're not going to go. You're not going to be in business. You're not going to grow by being the status quo. You're not going to grow by just bringing the same friends with you every time. And then these same idiots that follow you every time, even though you failed, 2 out of the last 3. But
okay, so you're saying that currently managers are not taking risks. Any concrete examples of what you're talking about? Does anybody have a question for him? Because
I was going to say, also, it sounds like these TA managers don't want to use recruiters because they'll feel like it'll eliminate their job. If I can fill the position for them, they're not thinking out the best interest of the company. They're only thinking about themselves, right? So if they hire me to fill it, they're going to freak out because I filled it so quick. Well, the boss may say, why do we have you around here? Why aren't you doing your job? Like, they should be thinking about the best interest of the company, not themselves.
Yeah, I mean, the problem, too, with the TA manager piece is that, most of them are set up to fail, in my opinion. It's not that some of them aren't all bad. They're not all bad recruiters. But it's like, if I ask Tommy to go, find me a, whatever, ice cream truck salesman, it's not his position. He doesn't know anyone. Though I did have a client ask me to find a side lifting tow truck salesman, and I did it. But but it's not their space. Like you ask these internal, the managers should know better to push back on the executives, because if you're hiring a generalist to go fill a really niche role, they have no experience in that space. Can they do it? Maybe, but they're not going to have the depth of like Tommy's going to have in his space. I'm going to have in my space, Donna, etc. So why not, if you're a good manager, say, listen, we can use our strengths to focus on the roles we know. We can outsource the roles we're not strong on, and then we can really go to town. And the ultimate success for the company is that, hey, listen, we get these positions filled, within a reasonable cost.
You know what? I should start singing your song to cut you off because you derailed my question 100%.
No, I mean, let me answer it, Animal. I always think that salesmen, number one sales guy for a company is a horrible manager, and they get made managers because they're the number one guy. And they're the worst people usually to be sales managers because they're so competitive. They don't want to share their secrets. They don't want anybody beating their records. They want to be number one. Right. So you don't take a guy like that and make him a manager. And you find that in managers a lot of times. The guy got promoted because he was the number one sales guy. He's a horrible manager. And there's also that area where you reach a level you can't go any further, and they push people into those roles because they need managers or they can't find help.
Yeah.
And so
Internally, we do a lot of manager training. It's for the same reason, because people promote into those roles, and they may or may not have the background or the education or the experience. So we do a lot of training internally for new managers and continue through. And it was the same in teaching. A teacher becomes a principal, and yeah, you have to have a special degree for it, but it doesn't mean you're a good manager. You
doesn't
can
mean
be
you're a good leader, doesn't mean
you're a good
with everything. Yeah, just 'cause
administrator,
you got the
good with
degree, yeah.
budgets, right? So we see a ton of bad managers. It's why I'm able to get a lot of people to come over, because our company does have a great culture. And
Well, no, okay,
that's-
tell us, how do you
Mhm.
know what those people are bad managers at your candidates' companies, and how
from what
and
they say,
what traits? Okay, I want to hear what they say, and
Okay.
what traits your managers that you promote. Because this example, I gave a clear example. The guy was like inconsistent. Oh, you do this, but I'm going to just abandon it after you've put all your work into it, right? Or I'm not going to listen to what you're telling me. Yeah, I have to make a decision now, or the price is going to go up. I'm just not paying any attention to you, right? I'm irresponsible. So you go ahead, Donna. Tell us.
I will. And one of them is one that you've picked on me about before, though, but I'm gonna use it anyway. And that is because our company is very collaborative and very much about teams and teamwork. And a lot of the people are coming from places that are more cutthroat, where it's every man for themselves and people throw you under the bus and all of that. And
Well, no, those are talking in general terms, although you sound like you're saying the same thing as Tom said, throw you under the bus.
Mhm.
What does that mean?
It can mean a lot of things. It can mean taking credit for an idea that wasn't theirs. It can mean just overusing somebody, not respecting their time, and then not giving them the credit for it's. I think a lot of times it's
tell
taking
you
the
that
credit
the
away.
opposite
Candidate,
is blaming
you
it on
that.
someone else.
Yeah.
What, Tom?
It could be the opposite too. Like
Yes.
the reason it failed is because Donna's not good at her job, right? So
Mhm.
threw you under the bus. You had a program to put together to sell to car dealerships, and it failed. And instead of me taking responsibility because I put it together, it was Donna's fault.
Oh, you
She
blame
couldn't get us
someone
good
else.
people.
Okay.
You
You
know,
take
Yeah.
credit, or you blame someone if it goes
that's throwing
south.
people under the bus.
Okay, but Donna, do you get this information out from your candidates? Because they are always warned, don't badmouth your current employer or your past employers. Okay.
They don't usually lead with it, but it's part of our job, isn't it? Like to pull out the pain points and
Well, how do you
what they're
get,
not
how do you
happy
get
with.
that? Okay, this is something I
Yeah.
didn't plan on asking, but now that you're
Okay.
telling us that people are confessing to you, okay, how do you get them
So,
to do that?
well, obviously it's listening and asking questions, but if they haven't offered anything up front about what they're unhappy with, then as I start telling them about what we're like and what our culture is and what it's like to work here, you can hear the things that they're getting interested in. Like, oh, that's when you hear that something's piqued their interest, there's a reason for it. So it's probably something that they're missing. So then you can ask another question like, oh, so you're really team oriented? Is that how it is where you are now? Like, do you feel like you're really part of the team? You just pick at it based on what you're hearing back, and they'll talk to you.
Okay.
They'll open up.
Anybody else? I don't. Where does Rich get his clear ideas that so many managers are bad? Do people tell him?
Do people tell me? Yeah, candidates tell me. I talk to them myself. I mean, they're pretty easy to see. I mean, the biggest thing too, as I find, at least for me, how a client treats me, it's exactly how they're going to treat the candidate. Once they're working for them, they treat me like crap. They're going to treat the candidate like crap. If I have a crap experience, they're going to have a bad experience.
Okay, but if the managers are generally so weak, that means the people we're recruiting for are also, we can almost guarantee that they're lousy as well. Although Donna's internal at a company she thinks respects, right?
Mhm. Yeah.
But then, Rich, the people you're working for, they're lousy, right? And you warned.
It's not making general statement that they all suck. I mean,
well, you've told us stories, and you say, "Look, I warned the candidates. I warned the candidates."
Whoa, slow down. Listen, not everyone sucks. Not everyone sucks. I mean, there's plenty of good clients, which is why we've made plenty of good placements. But there are plenty of clients that that quickly are no longer clients because they're a waste of time.
Okay.
It's as simple as that.
Renee, that's one of Rich's primary. Walk away from dope. Sorry, Tom, were you saying something? And I
was agreeing. Walk away. Yeah.
Okay. So bad management is common. And I like what Donna said. She said, just like doing a reference check, when they hesitate or they ask a question about something specific, you use that to pick it like a thread because it's the revealer. You don't have to ask them directly what's wrong with your
No.
Well, Ernie does. Why are you talking to me? He'll call someone out of the blue and say to them, why are you talking to me? And they'll say, oh, you called me. Yeah, but you hang up unless there was a reason, okay?
I'll say something like, I know I called you, but what would motivate you to make a job change, or what would motivate you to leave your current company? I like using the word current company because it's got a connotation of not permanent.
You're
Like
leaving,
if someone says to you, what do you like about your
For
current
now.
wife? That's a lot different than what do you like about your wife. So I like saying, what will motivate you to leave your current company?
Okay.
Or you just ask them like, what, why would you leave? I mean, then you get them thinking. I mean, then if they don't say anything, it's well, listen. I mean, most people just tell me their manager is horrible, the comp sucks. I mean, or I just say like in MySpace, I just say, listen, did you get your annual pay cut? And because in sales, your quota goes up and your comp stays the same. So essentially, you got to make more to earn less.
And when you take that to your clients, do they respect that? This is a good reason for leaving, or do they say, "Well, this guy's complaining"?
No, it just gets the door open to find out more information.
Again, we talked about this before. If their only reasons for money, and I don't want to, they're going to take a counter offer, right?
That's not just money. They're pulling the rug out from under him. Okay, and Rich has mentioned that before. Has your comp plan changed? Okay, he said, I've created about 200 YouTube shorts of our conversations. I put up way too many. You're supposed to just feed them at 3 at a time. You want to know what the number? And I can see the views. Some of them get 2 views that I think are really good. The one that's got the most views, 1,600 views. How do you find a backdoor hire? That's number one. And I'll tell you something else.
Send me that clip. Send me the clip. I'll see.
How do you find a backdoor hire? Meaning, how do you know someone hired behind you?
But there's I get almost no comments, but Rich got a comment. He got called a boomer.
Oh.
Aren't you younger than me? He's younger than me.
You know why? Because Rich said, he said, look, I tell the candidate, call me right after the interview so we can have a debrief. If they text me, he says, I know they're not interested in the job. And this is a guy called, okay, boomer. Yeah.
I don't know. I might have to agree with the boomer on that one.
Yeah, I'm okay with a guy.
Yeah,
like, if he can't talk and he texts me, it went great. I'm super excited. I got no problem with that.
Yeah,
It's pretty
what?
I still want to talk,
Listen,
but I'm okay with the text.
How many people just send you a quick text? Great, I'm interested. It went well, and then nothing.
Oh yeah, if I
Okay.
get nothing after that, then there's a problem. You're right.
different.
Yeah, if
That's
someone listen,
different.
again, everyone acts like you're supposed to answer every caveat the way someone could text or do anything. Because people are such losers now, where they've got to like, oh, you said this wrong. I didn't agree with this one little piece. It's like, listen, obviously, someone gives you a 6-page text. Clearly, they're interested. If someone just says it went great, what does that mean?
All right.
And
I didn't take it
and
that
candidly,
way.
what candidate ever thinks the interview didn't go great?
Oh, I've had that.
Oh, I
Yeah.
got messages I can show you.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. No, that I shouldn't say. Yes, I've had someone that ended up getting hired, but they knew that they blew it. They absolutely knew that they blew it. And they came back and they were like, please, can you get me back in? Because I know I didn't do this. I didn't do that. And yeah, I got them back in,
And
but they knew it was bad. They were right.
yeah, but what happened at the second time interview?
That person, let's just say they did quite well.
Oh, really?
Hmm.
Oh, isn't that a surprise?
No,
Okay.
they knew what they did wrong. I mean, that was one of the things. Like they nailed it in the analysis of what they screwed up.
What did that person do wrong? Tell us.
In this particular instance, this person answered everything with all of the quote unquote right answers without really revealing anything about themselves, was very stiff, was very guarded, and the team wasn't able to see anything real. Like it was just very guarded, very shielded, and it just didn't connect with anyone. Didn't seem to have any personal take or stake on anything. It was
Okay.
It was that.
Anybody want to continue that, or should I move on to there's a good story about a real nut bar manager. Okay. Here's
nutty story.
a recruiter said, I had a candidate with a very specific industry background that was exactly what the client wanted. She lived 5 minutes from the company, which is very unusual in California. Nobody lives 5 minutes from the job. But she was rejected because she wasn't born in California. It's amazing. So the recruiter decided that the client was insane and refused to work for him after
insane.
that. Yeah, it is insane. I mean, like that's really bizarre. Okay.
There had to be more to it. That just seems so like
It
I
does,
think we
but
really dig into that. Like, what do
okay,
you mean?
but being a native Floridian, you do get people who get so tired of all the transplants who are here and who get very into like that culture of being a native. And I mean, it's still weird. It's still weird and crazy, but I can picture it. I can picture being like, oh, another. We don't want
Are
anyone else
those
from
the
New
guys
Jersey.
who marched at what's that, Charlottesburg or Charlottesville, Virginia?
They probably
I mean,
marched a lot of, yeah. But I'm just
Yeah.
saying, I can see it. I think it's crazy, but I can picture
I mean,
it.
I could see if they were worried about her leave. Like, we want someone who's going to stay in California, right? Born like and have grandparents and great grandparents. Like maybe that, but just because she wasn't born there, like
Yeah. Okay.
that's just
Most
I'd have to dig
managers
into
are not that insane, I'll say, but that's it was a funny one. Here's a funny story though. This is from Doug, who one of the few people who actually watches the clips that I post on LinkedIn. Okay, and he'll in fact he agreed with Rich the other day. I can't remember what Rich said, but he called him Rob in the comments.
Oh,
Rich
Who's
is taking a
that?
beating. Okay, yeah.
Who is this?
Anyway,
rich
but
'cause
this
he
guy,
robs you.
Yeah.
Doug says, my candidate has 7 certifications on a platform that is very rare in her location. Okay. You can't find that kind of person in that territory very often. She had 3 interviews. The hiring manager said he liked her, but he needs to see more people. I told him to come up with a relocation budget and expect an extra month to get this filled, or I'm not going to work it. He's on his own. Okay. So when I read that, I figured it was over because I know I mentioned this one before. What happened was the more senior people in the company, they said, hey, hire her. And they overruled the hiring manager.
Yeah.
And he had a conversation with the executive vice president of HR last week, and she's doing fantastic there. Okay. What's his motto was, here's the moral for hiring managers: don't sit on kick-ass talent. I like that. That's a good
I
motto.
like that.
Yeah,
Don't sit on
100%.
kick-ass talent.
Either they're good enough to hire today
Mhm.
or they're not. If you want to see more people, fine. I'm cutting him loose. We're not going to have him hang around. If he's good enough to hire, you hire him today. I'm not. No.
Okay. What's skill-based hiring? You keep reading about it and hearing about it. Does anybody use that term, or what?
We sort of do for some positions, just because some have specific skills they have to have, and we even have tests. So
So you don't go by their
me-
job title, you go by their skills. Is that right? Is that what it
you
means?
have to see a sample of the work for us. So it I don't know.
I mean,
It's-
skill-based hire is fine as long as you're not using it as the only parameter, right? Like,
Mhm.
oh, I'm going to hire this guy who's got all the skills, but he doesn't fit in culturally. He's a complete asshole. He doesn't, have good people skills or good hygiene, but all his skills are perfect. I mean, there's nothing wrong with looking at skills to base your hiring on, but it shouldn't be the only reason.
Okay.
Yeah. We still have all the other questions, the behavior stuff too, but it's certainly a component.
Isn't it rather, don't go by degrees and stuff like that? First, see if the person actually can do the job. That's what counts, not the
We go
designation.
by all of
If
it.
you're hiring a structural engineer, that motherfucker better have a degree.
I was going to say for our medical and scientific department, it's all of it. They have to have the degree, they have to have the skill, then they also need to have the culture fit, they need to have the business acumen.
There's
yeah.
certain jobs you have to have a degree in. I don't care what anybody
Mhm.
says.
And ours have to be a
have to
terminal
agree.
degree, PhD, MD, or PharmD.
Okay.
I mean,
Okay.
I talk to
project
smart
manager
people.
for a construction company. If a guy grew up in construction with his parents and he's been project managing since he was knee-high to a grasshopper, graduated high school, went into the military, came out, and is a great project manager, yeah, he doesn't need a degree. But my structural engineer better have a degree. My pilot better have airline degree training, wherever the hell they're supposed to have. That's not a,
Okay.
that's a no-brainer.
Okay, here's what was a surprise for me. There's a guy on TikTok. I posted a bunch of stuff, but I haven't really put a lot of stuff on TikTok, but I watched this HR guy. He's got tons of likes and followers, and he said, everyone tells you don't negotiate your salary by email. He said that's a great way to negotiate your salary because it eliminates the pressure. Okay. So when the recruiter comes with an offer, you say, let me think about it. And then you ask her to email it to you, and you reply and ask questions via email because it slows the process down, calms your nerves, gives you a chance to think. Anybody would accept email negotiations? I've never seen a recruiter.
I'm pre-closing from the beginning, so it shouldn't be a surprise at the end. There shouldn't be any negotiations other than maybe car allowance or relocation package, right? But base salary, benefits, we've been talking about that since day one. So what's the problem?
I can't think of it happening. I'm trying to envision what it would feel like or be like if it was all email. I think I would prefer talking to them because you can hear more, you know.
I want to know why. Why do you need this? What was going through your brain that you need an extra $5,000 when everything we talked about?
But I can see on the candidate side, I think it's probably could be good advice to a candidate because he's right. I mean, it does slow the process down. And if you're nervous and you need that time because you don't feel confident in your negotiating skills.
What about this? What about this? You don't really need to know what the candidate is earning now or what she wants because you're going to pay her what she's worth. Does that make sense?
What they want is really important.
Yeah, I need to know what they want and what their salary expectations are because I need to know where we are. I'm not going to waste my time.
Yeah.
If they're not within the range and you're not willing to.
Yeah, but they might tell you that they want more. That's her fantasy, her wish, rather than what's realistic. And once she goes out for the interviews and they make an offer, it might be she might accept something quite a bit lower than what she wants because that's what she's worth.
It's incumbent upon me to explain to them what they're worth and what they're asking for is fantasy.
You can
internally. So once I do ask that fairly early on, once I've described the position or whatever, and I will let them know where our salary bands are, so that they know like, ooh, actually you're coming in a bit higher than our, the top of our salary band. And is that going to be a problem? And I let them decide before they start interviewing.
Yeah. You tell them, like, dude, you're asking $85,000. You have 1 year of experience, and you don't even have your EIT yet. No company's going to pay that I work with. So there's no reason for us to go forward. I don't care how good you think you are.
Okay, so you tell them up front, lower your demands, or we can forget.
No. If they're unrealistic, right? And unrealistic is, my job's paying 80, and they're asking for 95, right? If my job pays 80 and they're asking for 82. We can work through that because there's other things that candidates don't think about, right? They see salary, and then if you can show them the big picture, okay, your salary's this, your bonus is this, your benefits cost. Let's say they're paying $200 a month for benefits, and my client's benefits are $50 a month. That's an extra. If they want 82, and I only offer 80, but I can show them that they're actually going to make more than that because their benefits are going to be much cheaper, so they're actually making more money. You can get them there, but when they're so far apart, it's not even worth dealing with.
Okay. What about this? Employers need to know how attractive they are. They need to know their place. Yeah. It's just like
back to the six pack.
Well, not really. They have to know if how they stack up in the market. You can't be a 5 looking for 9s and 10s.
It depends on the position sometimes, right? Like I can get, if you're a pharmaceutical sales rep, they always want Barbie doll and Ken and Barbie type people selling pharmaceuticals. Right. But my client, I had a guy one time who told me, he's like, hey, man, I got a beard down to my belly and a ponytail.
I wasn't talking. It was metaphorical in this case. OK, It wasn't physically.
That's what made me laugh. You mean that the company themselves is attractive for good talent? The company,
not the hiring manager. The company might be a 5. OK,
we look at that all the time.
In terms of talent.
We look at that all the time of what we're offering and how competitive we are and how are we communicating that, and I'm always looking at what all of the competition is doing and what they're offering, what benefits they're offering. I research that stuff all the time because we want to stay competitive in every area. We know what we offer in terms of the work that we do, in terms of the product that we put out. We understand that, but when it comes to all the other goodies, that's one of the things I do is I'm always looking at what everybody else is and how do we compare.
Okay, Tom specializes in a field. Do you have a good idea of what the competition is? How your client stacks up to the competition?
Yeah, I try to explain to some of these smaller companies that call me and say, "Hey, Tom, we want to hire a guy from these." I'm like, "You can't afford them, and you can't attract them. You don't have the benefits, you don't have the compensation, you have the room for growth. What makes you think someone's going to leave Google to come work for Radio Shack?" Right? Unless we can find a guy who has a compelling reason to be in your town because his wife's on work release, and if he wants to see her on the weekends when she gets out of jail, he needs to be in your town, then maybe we can find that guy. But you don't have what it takes to attract.
Okay, so you're essentially saying, look, why would Miss America want to go out with you? You'll do that.
I mean, like, you have to bring your clients, back to reality sometimes when they're on tuna fish budgets and they want caviar, right? You got to kind of bring them down and explain to them, hey, this doesn't work. You can't attract these type of people, and these are the reasons why. Why would somebody come work for you when they can go work for Google or IBM or Facebook? Why would they come here?
Okay, now I want to point something out. Tom is delivering a pretty tough message, but I don't feel like he's degrading me when he tells me. I'm not really on the receiving end, but I'm imagining he sounds like my friend. Donna, am I right about that? You can criticize. You can tell me, no, he's vicious.
Come off as an asshole to him. I try to explain to them the differences of what their company has to offer and everything, and why someone at the level that, let's say, Google hires would want to come work for you.
Yeah. Okay.
As long as he explains the why, I think it's fine.
Well, you see, you work for a company you respect. You don't have to go to your hiring manager and say, who do I want to work here, right?
Well, but those are the questions that I asked when I first got there. I'm like, I know what I like about it. I know why I'm here. But I was like, I would see some things we advertise and I would ask, do we really do this? Or can we do this thing better? This is, I don't know. I mean, you should always be asking those questions. So getting that feedback would be helpful as long as he wasn't a jerk about it.
On my job order form, it says, why would someone want to come work here?
Mm-hmm.
Why would someone want to come work for your company? It says that on my job order form. That is a question I was trained to ask from day one. Why would someone want to come work here?
But that's different. That is a standard question. But well, you just gave us a 5-minute tirade about why no one would want to come and work at your company. Or about why the top talent would not want to come and work at your
there are A, B, and C companies. And oftentimes, A players aren't going to go work for C companies.
Yeah, they probably don't need those people there. Am I right about that? Do those
the C companies want the A players, right? The C companies, they want the guys from Google.
Why?
They probably think it'll elevate them
better. They think it'll make them better. They think,
will it? Can they offer anybody like an exciting growth potential, or can the person do anything interesting to really lift the company up?
You see it happen sometimes. Like in our industry, there's a company that hadn't been doing well, and they just brought over a heavy hitter, and they've been pushing it out everywhere. And it's like, well, we'll see. It depends on what the problem was. It depends on why they weren't performing well. If this one person can bring all the strategy to change it, maybe. But
yeah, like if I was able to get a top producer from Heidrick and Struggles, you may want to come work with me because he doesn't want the stress and he wants to work from home and he wants to be able to work in his socks and get a much higher percentage of what he brings in. Chances that happen are slim to none that I'll find a guy from Heidrick to come work for me. But if that does happen occasionally.
You know what? This is I had another question to follow up with, but I'd like to talk about that. I think they're smart. I'm lucky. I got really smart people, good, skilled recruiters coming on the show. I can't see why a guy from Heidrick and Struggles would not want to come and work for you. You don't have a big name, but I bet you're known in your niche. You yourself are a good recruiter. Why wouldn't someone want to work with you? What would the negatives be?
Benefits, no room for growth beyond just being a partner here, the prestige, the big office, the perks, the stock options. I mean, there are a lot of reasons why I can sell.
Okay, so they can make a lot more money working in a company like that takes a huge cut of their earnings.
I don't know.
The prestige. Heidrick and Struggles, you can make a lot of money, but you're usually there for the prestige. You're working on higher level searches than Tom or I are you going to get. Heidrick and Struggles is going to get those CEO searches at AT&T, or whatever. We're never getting
executive vice president at Disney.
Hold on. Rich is a member of the Pinnacle Society. Okay, so he's got like the official imprimatur that says he's a somebody. Okay,
yeah, but no, are you outside of recruiters? And even most recruiters don't even know what that is.
So now you've got your Forbes rating as well. Are you saying that you could not pick up a CEO job in your niche?
In my niche, I can, but my niche is startups. I'm not getting the CEO of Microsoft, or
Hydrogen struggles won't even touch my niche. Maybe one of my clients. The rest they won't even look at because their minimum base salary I think is $250 now.
Yeah. It always makes me laugh when these companies use them because these clients are paying so much more to those companies than they're ever paying us, and then they whine about our fees.
Yeah. Third plus expenses.
Yeah.
Could you guys go to work there successfully?
I couldn't work for anybody ever again.
Yeah, I used to get calls from them all the time, and I turned them down every time.
I got a call but they turned me down. This is really early on in my career, 2001, because I don't have a degree.
Oh, really?
Corn
Okay.
Ferry actually called
That's
me.
not skill based then, right? See, that's degree
No,
based.
you
not
have to have a
skill-based.
degree to go work for them in any capacity, and they want you to have, Ivy League or prestige degrees. A lot of the people in their higher ranks are guys who used to be executive vice presidents, CEOs, whatever, at big companies, and they just stop knob.
Yeah,
Oh,
they
the network. Okay.
Yeah, the Hydro Control, all those big firms, it's a lot of old boys networks. They have the partners are all, big wig guys, and then they have all the junior guys who build themselves up, do all the grunt work. And they will. I remember, they wanted you to bill $1 million and you'd make like $100,000. This is years ago. It was
Yeah, but I don't see why somebody who's a good recruiter can't break the hold they have on these companies. So I don't know.
It's the prestige and the risk. And then if you're on the board, do you want to go recommend Joe's barbershop, Joe's little like 3-person recruiting firm?
They know Hydric's going to fill it. They know Corn Ferry is going to fill it.
Okay, so yeah, they don't have to wonder, is this a good stove cleaner? Because
it's not worth the risk.
Okay.
To them, it's not worth the risk.
Okay, but other people aside from those big firms could actually do an equal job.
And listen, they don't win. There's plenty of firms that do win those searches if that's all your target is. I wouldn't say like I don't go after those because I don't like big companies. But there's not like they win every single search. But
yeah, there's a lot of small executive retained firms that have 5-6 employees. You look at the top 25 list. When you get down below the first 10, all those firms are relative. They're not huge, but they're also not. They have 20 employees, 15 employees, 10 employees.
Well, also in those big firms, when they get the search, they hand it over to sourcers who were at the bottom of the ladder.
That's the funny part. It's the low guy doesn't know anything is getting this, doing all the work for this huge fee.
Yeah,
but,
yeah.
A lot of it is too. Like those big searches like that, they're a time suck. You can make a fortune, but
it took me 8 months for that $77,000 fee I got, and I worked my ass off for that one. I could in 8 months I could fill $10,000, $20,000 searches.
What was the title?
CFO. And he was being trained. He's a CFO, but he had to have a law degree because he's going to be the president of the company.
Okay.
I just filled a CRO search, but it's a small company. It was a $12 million company.
Yeah, this was a $100 million company.
Okay. You know what? I think all you guys would do very well in a big consulting firm.
It's
not that you want it. Okay,
yeah,
I think Donna would fit in very well. She might have to get a new sports jacket, but
it's not new. It just newly recognized.
Yeah, okay, you'd have to move out of the '80s. Okay,
I don't have the network. I couldn't hobnob. I can't. I don't have the. Oh yeah, we went to the Harvard Club. Oh, I graduated from the Naval Academy.
You're a hobnobber. You told us. Okay, I've got at least a half a dozen YouTube shorts with you saying
can talk to
I'm a good recruiter because I was a bartender for 6 years.
Yes,
okay,
but that's different in that boardroom searches. They want boardroom people. They want people that have the same blue blood as them. I don't have that.
Okay. Anybody else got something they want to talk about? Time's up. It's been a weird show for me.
Yeah.
It went all over the place. Anybody?
How about a hint?
How about
a hint?
I think I was saying that I forgot to turn on the recording, but I did.
No,
Donna
you
should have
didn't.
reminded me. I did turn it on.
How can I
love that,
remind you of something I don't know you're stressing out about?
Yeah.
You just were having a little mild attack there. I didn't know.
Yeah,
why.
I was. Sorry, Tom. Last words for you. What were you saying?
Do you all know what Start Me is? The Start Me page? I think it's a great tool that I don't think it's a lot of press. I found it because Dean DaCosta has all his tools on there, but you can make a page for yourself, and it makes my life so much easier every morning when I wake up. I click on it, and everything I need is in front of me.
All your tools. Well, doesn't Rich use tab? What's that? What's the?
That's different though. The
You know what Start Me is, Rich?
I've seen it, but I've never used it. Like I've
Yeah,
seen
it's free, and I'm able to. I have it all my stuff kind of squared away. All my AI is here. All my contact finders there.
Start.me. You know,
Start.me.
I also know it only because of Dean as well. But that reminds me, final question. Dean was on promoting his sourcing site. Never see anybody talking about it. It looked pretty good. Anybody remember that?
Yeah, it looked good. It looked good. Tom, you use it.
Yeah, sourcing links. Yeah.
Sourcing links. Okay.
Mm.
Everybody, thank you very much. Nice to see you. Okay. I won't sing when we're I won't sing when we're leaving the show. I scared the new person away. I feel bad. So long, everybody.